So I got an idea that I want to run by you. I think it's a good one, and I think it may give you a little bit of direction this year. Because, let me adjust this. I've been thinking a lot about the fact that it's a new year. And one of the things that a lot of people do, right? They set these like big goals or objectives. Like, I want to start a business, or I want to make $100,000 or whatever it is. Well, I started to really think about this whole idea and concept of kind of saving and the power of what it actually does when you have a little bit of extra money, more than you've had maybe your entire life, in the bank account, and what it actually does, what it did for me. And so really what I want you to focus on this year is something that I'm going to go over in today's video, because I feel like if you can do this, it's going to open you up, it's going to free you, it's also going to help set you on the right path moving forward. One of the problems with the hustle culture that we live is that we look at other people that have already made it. They've already figured out the things that you need to figure out in order to get or scale or get to where they need to get to. Right now, if you're going to be buying their course or taking their advice, that's fine, that's great. But in my opinion, it starts before that idea. It starts before that big thing that you're trying to accomplish. It starts with $10,000 in a savings account. Not your checking account that you're using for your bills. No, 10,000 bucks that you have systematically saved or earned more and set it aside. Most people do not have $10,000 set aside. All right. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. For me, growing up, it was much worse than that. I grew up, we were on welfare. My parents were super young. I've talked about it before. I never had any money. I never learned about money, which is one of the problems with, when you grow up poor or around blue collar people. It's not that they're not amazing people, but they never teach you about money. My entire life, every single day, I was worried about money, right? I was always stressed out about it. I didn't even realize the toll it was taking on me because it was something I was just used to, right? It was something I always was worried about. And so I'm always in the back of my head thinking about how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to pay my bills. But one day it happened. I had $5,000 in a savings account, not my checking, a savings account. And something amazing happened at the end of the day. I realized, wait a second, I didn't think about money one time today. And the next day, same thing happened. It was at this point that everything started to change for me. It wasn't that I could go buy a Lambo or buy a nice house or anything like that, but I had enough money set aside that I didn't have to worry or think about money. And this was the point at which everything changed. All that energy, all that bandwidth that I was using on a daily basis, thinking about and worrying about money, I could use for something else. I could use for planning. I could use for optimism. I could use for strategy. I could use for just trying new things and not worrying about the financial implications. And this was the point that everything changed. Now, it was a while ago, right? It was back probably about like 16 years ago. It wasn't that long, but it was a while. Right? With inflation, I'm assuming now $10,000 needs to be the number. This is the year that I need you to focus on that number, $10,000. And then once you achieve it, then we can start talking about how to strategize to make more. And my feeling, honestly, is that if you can make $10,000 extra or save that, you can save $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000. And once you get to that number, it's like life-changing, gentlemen. But it starts smaller than that. And that's one of the problems with the hustle culture. We always have these like big dreams, these big goals, like these big end results, right? I want to start a business. I want to make $1 million. I want to make $100,000. It starts before that. And if you understand that and you make this small step, one of the goals, or I should say the goal, then you can work and allow yourself the freedom mentally to work on the other things or to grow. But it starts here. How are you going to do it? All right. If you're not making enough money to cover your bills, it starts there. You've got to cover your bills, your expenses. If you've got credit cards, I'm not saying to try to pay them all off, not now. I know that that's what a lot of financial experts will say. I'm saying pay your bill, but save that money. If you're not saving at least 10% of your monthly income, literally you're working for free. All right. You've got to do what you need to do in order to live below your means. If it means not buying clothes for 3 months, 6 months, stop buying clothes. If it means not going out to eat, don't go out to eat. Stop buying Uber Eats. Stop going to Starbucks and buying your $5 coffee. Do what you need to do to start living below your means. And take that extra money, whether or not it's $50 a week, $100 a month, whatever it is, and put it aside. Set it aside. And once you start making this a habit and you start really prioritizing that number, making that your goal, it's going to make it a lot easier. But unfortunately, we think, oh, we need a lot of stuff. You don't need that stuff. You need that $10,000 because until you have that, you are in a position of weakness. So I'm going to throw it down. The $10,000 challenge. This is the year for you to finally figure it the fuck out. And it's going to start here. You are not going to be broke if you can figure out a way in order to do this. How are you going to do it? You're going to live below your means. Like we said, you're going to possibly get a second job. You're going to basically go without in order to have this money. Now, if you've got credit card debt, keep paying your credit cards. Now, don't pay extra. What I'd recommend is pay what you need to pay and then save the money. I know that a lot of financial people would be like, that's a horrible idea. Pay down your debt. It's more, I get that. But there's something magical that happens when you have extra money set aside in an account for you. You know that, okay, if my tire blows out, I've got the money to possibly fix it. All right. If my car breaks down, I can fix it. All right. If something happens, I've got extra money that I can use that's not going to ruin me or bankrupt me. Now, the idea is that you set it aside and you grow it from there. And once you have it, then you can use this mindset and this creative freedom that you have in order to do something amazing, like join the white label empire, start a business, or do whatever you dreamed you should do. But until you have that $10,000, gentlemen, in my opinion, you're wasting time, you're wasting bandwidth, you're wasting energy. Because if anything happens, you're fucked. Period. And so, who's with me? Down below, guys, I want to know. I want to know, A, if you've got $10,000 in a savings account. If so, I would just like to congratulate you because you've done something that most people have not done. If you don't have it, down below, I want to see. I want you to tell me. Say, yo, Alpha, I'm going to do it. It's going to be a priority. I'm going to figure out a way to unfuck myself financially. It starts here. Guys, down below. The fact is, I'm proud of you. Take ownership of your financial situation. Make it a priority, 2025, to finally figure it out. Stop living scared. Stop living in debt. And once you have that $10,000, then we're going to talk about how to get you out of debt. We're going to talk about how to start a business. If you want to start a business now, you can click the link down below, join the white label empire. But what I would recommend is start with this as a focal point and a focus. Once you do it, once you achieve it, once you figure out that formula, then we can talk about starting a business. The other reality that I learned is that when you are trying to start a business, nothing takes the fun or the joy out of it like not having any money. Don't fall into the mindset that, okay, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to invest, and this is going to be the thing that gets me out of debt. If you are having problems basically with your budget or figuring out a way how to save money or not spend more than you're earning, it really needs to start there. I don't want you joining the empire. I don't want you starting a business until you figure this out. $10,000, that's the number. It's my challenge to you. If you're interested, guys, down below, let me know. Yo, Alpha, I got it, or no, Alpha, I don't, but I'm going to get it. Figure it out. And when you do, I want you to come back to this video and say, yo, Alpha, I finally did it. And then we can talk about making you more money. But it starts with $10,000. Who's with me?